Dear witches, staying up to date with the moon? Seeking reminders to re-enchant your daily life? Subscribe to the Modern Witches newsletter for lunar updates and inspiration for working with our personal and collective phases of transformation. Not only do we send out digital spells, astrological insights, and witchy love notes, our newsletter also showcases the incredible magical community that Modern Witches has fostered throughout the years. Have a course or offering you'd like to share with magical babes? Want to share your art with those who will be most touched by its magical themes? Learn more about promoting your work on our newsletter at modernwitches.org/community-marketing. Find the link in show notes. Hello, and welcome back to the Modern Witches podcast. I am Casey Zabala, an intuitive witch and interdisciplinary artist, and I am here with Karima, astrologer of the Cosmic Vibe.
Hi,
Welcome, Karima.
everyone. Hi, Casey.
And we're here for our Taurus season part 2. We're going to be talking about Taurus season starting from Beltane, May 1st, through the end of the season, the last couple weeks of Taurus season, and really talking about Beltane, magic and energetics to kick off this episode. This is one of my favorite moments
Yeah,
on the Wheel of the Year. It's
I
just such a
know.
juicy
I
thing.
know. All the time when I see Valentine, I think about you all the time.
Oh, wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like this beautiful counterbalance. It's the counterbalance to Samhain. So it's its opposite on the Wheel of Year from Halloween, the death moment, and it's kind of this like peak fertility abundance time. The veil is very thin at Beltane as well. It's a time when the spirits of the land, our ancestors, are more accessible. It's a very witchy moment to kind of go into the woods, practice sacred rituals, and just be conscious of your animal body and the importance of pleasure and eroticism in your magic. So it's just what's not to like, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Agree. And it's just like, it feels good because we're coming, like the sun is out and about
Mhm.
now, you know?
Thank
It's kind
you.
of
Yes.
this crossing point between like potential and you getting into expression, desire and embodiment, spirit and matter. Like you just
Hmm.
said it. You just said it. And it's just, I like it because I feel like we like celebrate fertility and creation.
Hmm.
But it's very interesting. And you mentioned it also many times the first part of this episode, but also when we're just talking off how it is related to death and
Hmm.
how we have this full moon at the same time in
Hmm.
Scorpio of this of Beltane. And so it's like very interesting this relationship with Beltane, which is birth and desire and embodiment and bloom and move and expression. And then you have this underlining of death. And
Yeah.
one is not without the other. And I know you wanted to talk more about this, so I was curious about like very interesting, relationship between.
Yes. No, thank you for bringing that in. Yeah, it's, in sort of like the Celtic conception or like calendar, Beltane would mark the beginning of summer. And there's different etymologies around what Beltane means. And this is debated, but someone believes that the root of Beltane means death, and others believe that the root of Beltane means fire. And so it is a fire festival. Like traditionally, folks celebrated Beltane with like huge bonfires, and they would actually, you know, traditionally leap through the Beltane fire as like a form of protection or
Yeah.
celebration of like moving into this new phase, this new season. And they would also drive cattle through fires.
Yeah. Yeah. I read about this a lot. I was kind of like, it was just cattle for passing through them for protection and fertility, right? And it
Yes.
was just
Yeah.
like, I was like, wow.
Yeah. Because some people would have, there's like different forms of grazing our ancestors practice where they'd have like two fields, like one like winter field, one summer field. So they would like drive their cattle to the summer field through protective fires as like a ritual to
Mhm.
ensure yeah, fertility, safety, protection.
Yeah.
Um, and I think when we're practicing, wheel of the year in a modern context, it is important to think about what our ancestors were thinking or what they were practicing. Like Beltane or the celebration of summer, this kind of ritual on May 1st, or on and around May 1st as a fertility day exists in so many cultures. Like I
Mhm.
started to research this and you could go down a rabbit hole. So if you're interested in how this fits into your ancestral practice, go there and you'll find something.
Mm.
But I do think for our ancestors, the relationship between life and death was so much more obvious and tethered,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the idea of celebrating life or summer through fertility rituals is like a reassurance of life. It's like a
Yeah.
spell for life, right? It's a moment to
Celebrating life.
affirm it,
Yeah. Yeah.
acknowledging it too. I think that there's a lot of practices around this time of burning effigies.
And yeah, and we have Samhain towards the
Yeah,
motto, like when we celebrate the dead and also like the death in itself, So I feel like also Beltane is a continuity of that celebration. It has
right.
to have a balance. Yeah.
Something I do in my personal practice is I will make talismans or charms at Samhain as protective spells that
Mhm.
I then burn at Beltane. So
Oh.
it's there's some kind of continuity. There's also some just awareness of, yeah, there's sacrifice that happens in order for life and fertility to happen. And so I do think it's a really so powerful to have this Scorpio full moon on May Day. The other thing that is happening is just May Day, this huge moment to celebrate historical activism and workers' rights and resistance, liberation movements. And so that so beautifully ties into this quest for embodiment, seeing pleasure as a liberation practice. And I think what I'm really seeing come into more archetypal resonance is this idea that creation and creativity is central to our resistance and social justice movements because it's what makes us human on so many levels is our ability to make art and
To
create.
create.
And when the powers that be don't want us to have agency and are taking away our ability to create create freely, to love freely, to
Mhm.
embody our own gender on the spectrum of how it shows up freely. That's something to push against and resist against.
Yeah.
So it's also a powerful day to be demonstrating, to be out in the streets.
It is. And it's interesting that reminds me like what we did a year ago. I can't believe it's been a year that we did a full mini magic episode about Beltane on our
Mhm.
Patreon. So if you those who are in our Patreon, you can look back to it. And we did a very good episode on this and talking about how it's really like the relationship that have built in with the labor movement, the relationship like
Mhm.
we did a lot of different correlation. And yeah, I was like, this May 1st is also celebrating union, labor movements, and especially recently with everything that has been said about Cesar Chavez and all of that. I
Right.
think this we call it the real Labor Day. May 1st, I think it's gonna be very like it's going also through a transformation of who we're celebrating. And
Exactly.
yeah, so it's in constant transformation. And I,
Mhm.
I want to remind people because we've been using the word fertility a lot, and I just feel like it is beyond its literal like meaning
Mhm.
when we talk about fertility, we could creative fertility, like you mentioned, arts and project and ideas, and but also relational, financial, spiritual
Mhm.
fertility is all about all of this. And so, whatever you want to grow or
Yeah.
see like land that is fertile, that can be in your financial and your spiritual life, whatever it is, in which area it is, like, it is the time to create a ritual to be able to send good, energical, magic vibe into it and
Totally.
see it
Yeah.
grow.
It's like the fertility of your soil is so
Yeah,
important. Any
it's
gardener knows that you can't grow anything if you don't have good soil.
mm,
And
yeah.
so this is the time to really do that. And, some of the old folk customs that I know of from Beltane were going out into the fields and having sex
Yeah,
with like a
too.
sympathetic, magical
Yeah.
enaction of like what we want fertility, abundance, creation. And you can do that, or you can think about it more symbolically, about what what actions can you take to generate that fertility for yourself. And leaving offerings is like such a great practice at Beltane, whether it's for your spiritual allies, the fairies, ancestors, making donations to organizations that need it. Like all of these are offerings, and you can get really creative with how you do that. Giving as an act of receiving.
And also during that day, you will have Modern Witches is doing an event, right? I was like,
Yes.
we forgot to
Yes,
say it.
we
Yeah.
did. Yeah, we're gonna be hosting a gathering on May 1st. If you're hearing this before then, I'll be hosting a community ritual. We'll have a community altar, and we're gonna be having Rohini Murati doing a healing soundscape experience from her new album, and we'll have Sour Widows performing a duo set. So it's going to be really magical, really lovely space to connect with community. And then on May 3rd, we're having a Beltane marketplace with some incredible vendors, practitioners gathering to celebrate our magic.
Yeah.
Hope to see you there. It's at the Sunshine Prophecy in Oakland.
Nice. Thank you for it, because I
Thank you
we
for
said
reminding me.
yeah, yeah, I was like, "But we haven't even had that." So, yeah. Yeah,
So, Beltane, yeah, go do some magic. Make offerings, practice glamour magic, pleasure magic, all of the things we mentioned.
yeah.
Enjoy it.
I use it also just for people who, like, doesn't know where to start. I use it also. I remember I was so confused of, like, no, sometimes you don't know where you wanna do. You don't have very specific desire, and it's just like there's a time of your life when it's just, like, messy and you just want more clarity. I do use spring cleaning. It's just like
Yeah,
do a cleaning of your house physically and spiritually. Use herbs, scents, broom, whatever you use. I kid you not. It's feeling, I felt so much better after that just because it's giving me space to be actually able to know what I want to grow or what I want to use this next season, and so I just want to say
it's
for
really good
people when we
advice.
said growth, you don't have to grow. It's just sometimes about clearing your space.
Yeah, and I think if you are feeling the overwhelm feeling, which is like, I mean, I feel overwhelmed every day just living in this body at this
Just-
time. But I think something that I'm noticing is really helpful from a spiritual perspective is the cleansing work.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Doing it in the shower, just like imagining that you're cleansing yourself in the shower, with the shower as you're cleansing yourself physically. And then also just like if you're feeling that overwhelmed, scattered, put something down, put something away. Like take a break from the phone for an hour, you know, tidying up your house, like you said, saying no to something. Maybe it is just like if you're really in a state of overwhelm, maybe it's time to just like create space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weeding your garden, metaphorically.
Yeah. True.
And I think, as we move deeper into Taurus season after this full moon in Scorpio on May 1st, on May 2nd, Mercury moves into Taurus, which I think will help with that sort of like sense of reprioritization that we mentioned in our part one of Taurus
Yeah.
season. Mercury in Taurus is slower. It's more grounded in the way that it makes decisions, in the way that it's like committing to things, the way it's traveling through the world. And so you might be able to tap into a greater or a more honest understanding of your personal capacity at
Mhm.
this, with Mercury in Taurus. So, yeah.
And it helped the sun in Taurus, you know?
Yeah.
It's so a season, so it's just helping and, like, your vitality is literally in the sign of Taurus, so when you even if Mercury is not gonna stay for a while, Taurus is always a short trip, it just helps you clarify really what's again, what you wanna grow in a slow, steady way. Again, what you wanna build with consistency, what you have the energy for to build consistently, what you because when you, like, start something or create something or whatever, we'll all have the hardest thing to do is to keep going. The hardest thing to do is to keep it long term, to be
Mhm.
disciplined about it. And so Mercury also bring us clarity on what we really wanna do and what we really have the capacity to hold and to keep constant. They can be in our practice, in our, like, whatever, on a day-to-day. So, I like Mercury coming, even if this is just a short trip, I like it just for clarity, and it's a
Yeah.
great time to do spell for and communicating what you really wanna build with consistency and what you really wanna grow slowly, and you're capable to take it through time, even if it's winter, summer, spring, it's something that you can go through the wheel of the season, and so it's very important.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It is important. Yeah, like aligning again, I think the Taurus, like being ruled by Venus, it's like aligning with what's most important to you. And I think that's this like broad view of what this Taurus season is offering to us. It's like the space to really reformat our priorities and align to what is most valuable to us.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, creating boundaries to keep your life feeling stable, you know?
yeah, yeah,
Stability is a spell you make every day. Is that what it was? Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's real. So, in this episode, we're going to focus on the new moon in Taurus.
Oh, I love this new moon.
I do
I love
too.
the like this season we have nice full moon. Like we have a nice full moon in Scorpio and a very nice new moon in Taurus. I'm gonna take that in because it doesn't happen all the time.
It
You
really
know?
doesn't. Yeah.
No, no. It's a very fertile, pleasurable new moon. I'm very excited to talk about it. Do you want to pull up the chart?
Yes, let me do
Okay.
that.
Because this new moon is happening at 25 degrees, the sign of Taurus. And why, like, obviously, a new moon in Taurus is always lovely. We like the moon feels great in Taurus. It feels nurture, it feels like taken care of. So when we have the moon and the sun in it, that create babies here, you know?
Yes.
And why I like it so much is because it's sextiling Jupiter in Cancer.
Mhm.
And so we have this hidden layer of nourishment that already we have with Jupiter in Cancer, but with Taurus that's represent our body and really embody our desire. I feel like with this sextile with Jupiter is really bringing us a layer of tools and guidance around how we can nourish ourselves, how we can take care of ourselves, what the what is this season bringing us that we need to change. We were different a year or 2 years ago. We needed, like, to eat I'm just saying this, like, just an example. I will say, like, my skincare routine is very different than what I do now, you know? It's like, what do I need now in this time
That's
when
so
my
accurate
body
too.
is you know? It's like
Yeah.
you're changing every year. Your body change the food that you're eating is like I used to never eat avocado. Now I need avocado all the time. Not because I move in California, but just because I feel my body needs it and I feel so different when I eat it, which I didn't need like 3 years ago. Like literally didn't need that fat, really. So it's just little thing, little example that I'm giving that is helping us kind of reclarify what our body needs at this moment in this time, and that our body change and that our body needs to evolve and we need to evolve with it and be conscious of it. And I think simple thing like food, no, like nourishment through plants, taking care of your skin, of your hair, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be fancy. Is You don't need to follow 8 steps like what the whole world is telling you to do. You just to follow your gut and need to use that one thing that like helps you feel better about yourself inside and out. It's
Mm,
a very giving that this new moon is giving that vibe for me. Like,
yeah, I love that. I feel like there's that, like, backdrop of nourishment and care that's so lovely, and then,
hmm
we also have Mercury Chiron forming a sextile with Venus here, and since it's Taurus season, my eye is drawn to that Venus, and
yeah,
I do think there's something generative about that. Chiron is hard, and Chiron next to Mars is hard, but with the sextile to Venus, I think there's something about, like, noticing your healing affinity, like you were talking about, like, you're drawn to these things that support you.
yeah,
Uh, I think there's a way that this new moon is, like, really making us conscious of, like, what we need in
right.
order to, like, re-energize and support ourselves, like, build up capacity and strength, nourishment. Yeah, even in the, like, tough, vulnerable spots of our psyche, you know? That Mars Chiron in Aries is gonna, like, activate that Chiron in Aries placement, and for those of you who have, like, natal Chiron in Aries, like, I feel like the next couple of months are gonna be, like, kind of a lot of Chiron activation.
hmm
But, this is an opportunity to, like, kind of get the keys you need from Chiron, like, the keys to your healing. So, I hope that that's accessible to you at this new moon with Mercury sitting right there in Taurus. Again, like, go back to your spells, rewrite your spells. This is a time to send your spells into something physical. So whether it's making art or baking or gardening or, yeah, moving your body, like, there's a way in which you're really translating your intentions for your healing, for care, into another modality that's gonna be like a vessel for whatever it is you're carrying forward.
Yeah. And like when we talk about new moon, we often think about intention setting and manifesting and with that sextile to Jupiter and those connection with Chiron is going back to what manifesting what actually nourish you. So what do you feel like safe? Does this feel safe in my body? Growing
Mm,
but with care. And again, we know that Taurus is asking us to build slowly, steadying, and we have this kind of feeling of growth with Jupiter, but it's like, does this support my mental and emotional well-being? Does this align with the life I want to live in and not just achieve? It's really about with Jupiter in Cancer, it's really about this caring, nourishing aspect with all those intention that is helping you clarify your attention. Does I really need this? Is it very good for my body and my mental health?
mm.
That I think is very helpful.
Yeah, I feel like it's like all of our nervous systems are so taxed, like exiting the eclipse season at the beginning of the year, coming through Aries season, so activating. Like, I feel like Taurus season, and especially this new moon, is like a reset of our nervous system, like coming back.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and it's really like you said, like it's like a reset and it's coming back to like Jupiter is a gift that help us like to come back to what is connected to our inner world. Like it's
Mm,
helping us to kind of like set an intention that become more powerful when they are like emotionally honest, you know,
mhm,
or rooted in care and or
mm.
again connected to our inner world. So it's like this reset is very important when it's a layer of those 3 things, being emotionally honest with yourself, like really rooted in your care and the care of other you love, and emotionally like connected to your inner world. I think that those are the
Yeah.
combos that will help you really grow nicely and
Mm,
steadily. Yeah.
Totally. This is like I see a really good kind of moment for doing a lot of introspection around the
Mm,
dark moon, even before it's this new moon moment. Journaling a lot, like getting some clarity, doing some deep inner work. And I don't know, working with herbs around this new moon could be really good, like
yeah.
making like a herb sachet or like a dream pillow.
You're literally talking about earth and water with Jupiter in Cancer, like earth, plant, water, like Cancer. Like, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
herb connection is definitely there. Yeah,
Make a tea that you infuse your
definitely.
spells into. Yeah, I think there's just, like, a lot of possibility for, yeah, working elementally with those things, and just starting to take, like, nervines
Oh,
on the new moon, you know?
yeah,
Like, start an actual nervous system reset program herbally would be really good. Maybe that's what
yeah.
I'm gonna do.
So I enjoyed this new moon.
Yeah, enjoy this new moon. So, the highlights of the last bit of Taurus season are on the 17th, we have Mercury moving into Gemini.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I,
away it goes.
yeah. As you know, like I always say, I don't like saying, "Oh, this is bad, this is good," because Mercury in Gemini is good. It belongs to
Yeah.
Mercury belongs to Gemini, so obviously it's good. But like you know how, again, I love it. Taurus emphasizes stability, reduction of complexity, while Mercury in Gemini is kind of increasing, like, like you say, variability, like in a way
Mhm.
that is like I feel like it's like increased information, multitasking, rapid decision making. It's we're going to another phase. It's kind of a preview of soon the sun coming into Gemini, and I like I it's so sad that we have Mercury like just like a couple of weeks, like a couple like 10 days or 2 weeks in Taurus
Mhm.
just because it's like, oh no, I want this slow. I want this
Yeah,
steady, I want
totally.
to
So make the
that
most of it,
so we
everyone.
have to make the most of it because then Mercury is very like asking us to jungle very fast and to be very fast in our decision making and to be efficient into how we think because Mercury and Gemini usually increase information and media information and things that comes towards you. And so you have to be very centered to be able to cut those edges and be selective and not being overwhelmed of that. But he's also bringing a nice conversation, chattering and
Mhm.
connectiveness. And so there's a like,
Networking,
yeah, networking and all that is
socializing. Yeah.
exactly. That's kind of this nice. It's bringing busyness in your schedule, but it's also bringing like this social community vibe that can be very needed at this time.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be good. It's like it feels like it kicks off, like, more of a summer energy of being out and social. But on just a day later, May 18th, Mars enters Taurus. So there's a little bit of a change
So you
in
see
our
this pool,
energy.
like it's been having this pool now between like we had this pool with Aries Taurus, and then we have a little bit of concentration in Taurus, and then at the end of the season we have the pull between Gemini and Mars, like
Mhm,
the rapid, the fast thinking, the like the fast air, and the slow and steady Earth, and that
mhm,
those two like are kind of like they're not fighting, but there's like which way I'm going, like
right.
and Mars going in Taurus is like it starts feeling great. Mars wants to go fast. He wants to have it's a go-getter. Like it's like persistent over speed is physical and financial resources kind of slowing down and be like not as moving as fast as we want it
Mhm.
to be. So yeah, it's
But it can be
hard
very committed. So, like,
to
before Mars moves into Taurus, you know, all of this kind of, like, sense of reprioritizing, refocusing.
mhm.
Once Mars moves into Taurus, I feel like people will be able to kind of, like, settle a little bit more onto a path,
Yeah.
which can also help with that settling of uncertainty a little bit more. Not that the uncertainty will end, But I do think there's, like, maybe more of a conviction with, like, where
True.
you're putting your energy, which can be helpful.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
one hopes.
And it is like increased focus too. When you have
Yeah,
Mars in Taurus, that will increase your focus on tangible outcome. It really wants to make a plan and like, what is the result? Am I going to jump into it just without thinking? It's like
right.
Taurus vibe stopping you a little bit is yeah, is materially grounded form of motivation. Like, it's
Yes.
like
Yes.
and so we like it. It reduces impulsivity. That's
Uh-huh.
also something that is nice to have when we have Mars in Taurus.
Counterbalance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Counterbalancing that Mercury and Gemini a bit.
And I like the endurance too of a Mars in Taurus.
Mhm.
You can feel like sometimes defeated by the length of, things, how they not move fast as they want
Mhm.
them to be, but is also very, at the end, is happy of his endurance. The
Right.
journey is hard, but at the end, he's happy.
Right. Yeah. And then to kind of close out our Taurus season, right before the sun enters Gemini on the 20th, on May 18th, Venus enters Cancer.
I think everyone is waiting for
I know, especially
that.
because
Yeah,
Venus and Jupiter are going to be meeting up in early June. So that's something also to look forward to. But
yeah.
yeah, I think crystallizing all these like desire for more care in our world, right? Hopefully, Venus and Cancer will really center that,
Yeah, yeah, because
bring
yeah.
justice to like more fully, like bringing justice to bear on the harms that have been committed. One can
Mhm,
hope.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, Venus entering Cancer is really a shift that's happening in terms of relationship, is like we go towards emotional safety and attachment-based value system. We try to go towards like what feels safe
mhm,
for us, and in terms of justice is often people relate that to like more balance for women, for child, for kids, for
yeah,
people with different disability. It's like let's build a system and laws that are more supportive for the
right.
minority and people that doesn't have power in that world. And
Mhm,
so it's usually that's what the Venus and Jupiter is been waiting for also because
mhm,
it's like bring extension and love. And it increased the need for emotional reassurance too. So we'll like maybe find it in family, in our partner, in our chosen family, in ourselves. But like we'll need to find like how to say a process, not like a care system for ourselves that help us, protect us from all those negative things that is happening right now into the world. What is our bubble? What is our protection? What is our people that we
mhm,
can count on or talk freely to? Or yeah, Venus is a lot about like where we feel safe, in what group
mm.
we feel safe and where. So
Yeah, like a good time for fostering networks of care. If you haven't,
yeah,
if that's
yeah,
something you've been thinking about or tiptoeing into or actively participating in, like it's a great time to like really fortify those networks, cultivate them, celebrate them, whatever it is that feels right.
yeah. And it sometimes it can be tough for nostalgia, or like regretting the past. Sometimes that Venus it's good and bring juicy stuff, especially with Jupiter, but it also can bring us back in the past, and that's the careful end we have to have.
Mm,
I was better back then, or I had better time. Why or regrets of what happened or how it happened. So like just be careful of those with Venus and
mhm,
Cancer. Like it can bring a lot of nostalgia of this past event that you have, or how the world was before, which is totally
right.
wrong. But anyway, this is
Yeah.
another subject.
Eh.
But yeah. Uh, uh, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah. No mythologizing the past anymore.
No, please.
Yeah,
Please.
totally. I will encourage folks, though, to tune into the episode I did with Thea Anderson about Uranus moving into Gemini because we talk about these women in the past who we're really active, like actively embodying the Uranus and Gemini archetype from like a liberation standpoint.
Oh, that's
Um,
so cool.
Josephine Baker and Harriet Tubman specifically. So, like maybe no mythologizing the past, but maybe reaching into the past and like finding the ancestors of inspiration that like we can uplift and learn
Yeah.
from. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can wait to listen to this because Josephine Baker is very known, as you know, in France
Oh,
because she went to France,
yeah.
she did the show, but she was a trigger of the resistance.
Mhm.
And it's so interesting how that was erased in the mainstream society, media, and information, and how only the figure of sexuality stick to it with the visual of her naked with the belt of the banana. Like it was very
Mhm.
like visual and like how she was very sexualized and all of
Mhm.
that. But the resistant part, which was a huge part of it, like she did crazy, like it was not minimal.
Yeah.
It was
She's a spot.
she was, and she became a star for many people afterwards, like, you know,
Mhm.
very, but it was kind of erased with time. It didn't
Mhm.
like peop and it's just, like, interesting how because she was a person of color, they kind of shifted her to this star. She was just a show person, you
Right.
know? And so I'm very excited to hear about this episode, to hear this.
Yeah. I think it'll be a good layer to all of this,
Mhm.
all these shifts, and to a powerful Taurus season. I
Mm,
hope that it's an opportunity to, yeah, slow down, regroup, reset your nervous system, focus on pleasure, and see where that leads you, really.
yeah, yeah.
And
Thank
go
thank you.
out and, you know, fight for what's right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Karima.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Blessed be. Thank you for tuning in to the Modern Witches podcast. We hope you've been inspired to cultivate your own magic and to craft your own spiritual practices. Let us know what sparked your curiosity by leaving us a comment on this episode or leave us a review. And don't forget to subscribe to the show so that you never miss an episode. Your feedback and engagement truly fills our cups. If you're looking for more ways to gather with your fellow witches, please support our work on Patreon. Learn more at modernwitches.org. Blessed be.